And so the moment you finish the path, you make your own language, and you let the world burn. The end. Destroyer of reality is born, and you guys may suffer. It's up to that person. Wait, what? That's not up to him? Oh, it's up to the level of evil that you possess. If you hold too much evil, then you suffer. Makes sense, doesn't it? No? No, it should make sense. I don't even know, man. This is the most common sense thing which I actually don't have to explain it. If you possess evil, then you're gonna be more scared, more caught in the weeds, alright, more likely to say stupid shit, and so on. And people will find it very interesting. The more evil you hold, that's what happens. It's almost like that's why NPCs have all this like drinking contests, or just ways to promote abuse. So it just happens, so people fucking know, right, what kind of person you are. So we just move on with it. Like, yeah, you have evil, you showed it, we know, and we're gonna have to live with it somehow, right? We'll be ready somehow to face evil, which is, very weird form of resistance, but NPCs gonna have to be at least honest to each other. It's like, they fucking love bullying me, alright? They love throwing shit at me. They love uniting for that one purpose. Even though it doesn't achieve anything, by the way. Like, their life purpose is absolute dog shit when you realize. And you realize slowly, you accumulate experience and you realize how terrible this path is. Right? By trying to climb it. But that means I try to climb 3 paths, and they all kind of sucked. Or am I too greedy, and I want to play God? Which one is it? Alright? I think, long story short, if it's difficult to impress people, then there's no point in trying, right? If people have no soul, then something happened to reality that fucking started eliminating humans. And maybe the destroyers will clean it up, right? Maybe we will be actually kindly cleansed of all the soulless human beings that just literally have to, expire. Yeah. The evil has to be taken away. We have to let that happen. Let that happen every single time. No matter what that apocalyptical, the final moment looks like. And it still has to happen. It's almost like we're fucking training for it right now. Humanity is like warming up to the fact that destroyers are coming. Yes, we're sending signals to them as well. We're sending that we cannot contain that much evil anymore. Something bad has to happen. Something got to switch. Not necessarily my episode. I'm just talking common sense because that's what I have to do. That's my job. Alright, common sense brought me here. That means it's my job, it's my identity. And I'm here to deliver it to you. I don't care if you care or not care. This is not some fucking bait content. It's all up to you if you fucking get to employ your ears and figure out how much common sense you're gonna fucking earn today. Right? Because it's free to be taken. Because it's still, scarce. That's what it is. When it's scarce, it's free. Because the caveat is finding me amongst all the regular people, I'm still regarded as a regular person, meaning I wasn't vacuum cleaned into a path of life whatsoever, right? I didn't find friends or people I can relate to, and I definitely didn't do anything beyond that, right? In none of my ways of life, none of that shit happens, right? I'm not making friends. And that shit is the crux, usually, to everything. And technically, it is one of those, like, big questions of, like, shit, that probably defeated you a couple of times. I was defeated maximum amount of times. I was defeated or abused or pushed back maximum amount of times. But it's very interesting when it happens, I feel like. Like when I was pushed away from the celebrity path, and I knew in my heart how big of a celebrity I would be, technically. But because I felt the pushback, all of a sudden, I was haunted almost. Or something sparked in my brain of like, shit, what if this celebrity cares about me? Like, yes, it's a weird thing to say and what not. What if they care about me right now? And now it kind of makes sense why. Because I left their path. Like, I'm not chasing to be a celebrity anymore. It's kind of too late as well. Right? And life was just not good for me to establish a ladder towards this path, which would have been nice. It's nice for a lot of people, isn't it? I am running the Am I Jesus series, and at some point, it's going to be interesting to people. I wonder what that point is. Probably it's just going to be the ending of the series, when people are going to be like, what the fuck is going on? Seriously? So that something happened here that made me think of like, yeah, I gotta become godlike. This is getting ridiculous. But I had to relate to some like special people or something to be able to think that way. Or is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen instead of has happened? Like, when do you switch paths? When do you end? Because, like, maybe I'm just attempting. A lot of the stuff, like, if you want to be a celebrity, you attempt auditions, for example. Now, I get to claim that I'm godlike, but potentially I'm just attempting to be one. And I still haven't, like, found a perfect way to do it. I haven't found the perfect place, right? Like, there could be a lot of, like, requirements for this. Right, and maybe I'm just like undergoing training, and this training is gonna like signal to the highest political level people that yeah, it's time to let go of that fucking person. It's a liability to have one around, you know. My gut tells me that politics is about fucking nothing. Basically, you're just kind of lying that it's about something. Now, you do need to have common sense to not lie in a wrong direction. You're still just kind of like, reducing the things to a minimalist perspective where things just like, or dualistic perspective, where things are kind of simple, they're kind of God-made, and you just like, and they're meant to be that way. You just reducing. But at some point, you reduce it to such a degree that, like, shit, I did it too fast. I'm not going to impress people anymore. How are you going to impress people through reductionism in politics? You can only do that in spirituality, the final path. When everything is simple, when it's like, a person comes to you and he has all kinds of baggage of problems, and you're just like, no, there's and you just solve half of them in just a few minutes. Then they fucking realize it's shit. Politics is not going to help me. I can help myself. Right? Godlike people do, in fact, like just doing things themselves. It might take them back into the past a little bit, but they can just move around. Everything basically eventually has a clock. Every location has a clock. Some people are falling behind. Some regimes don't like to adopt capitalism right now, and they just fell behind a little bit. So it's just that sort of stuff happens. You can always go back in time simply by doing things yourself. Like Amish exist, right? They go back in time. They don't want to adopt capitalism either. God knows, maybe they haven't adopted communism, but it looks like they did. So there's stuff like that going on. How much into the past you're gonna go? I mean, damn, that's not a good question. You shouldn't go. You should just be, you know, having access to locations that goes to the past, not detachment from what's the current thing, because that would make you fucking delusional. You have to get access to the best things that are available, and that's it. So I really have to like question what the fuck's going on right now. This transition is really complex, but again, I saw a pattern where I started to feel the connection, right? And this connection turned into something special that I can at least do in my free time. A way I can waste time just like care about celebrities and whatever they're up to. It's just a nice thing to overlook because they're not evil people, right? And if they're evil, like NPCs start fucking barking at them and reducing their reputation, and something NPCs always talk about because that's what they, like. They like detecting evil and just kind of hating celebrities in a way, in a very weird way. But you only now I can see it. It's a little bit of hate, but they don't like to admit it as well, especially when they're insecure that they wouldn't be successful at like canceling a celebrity. Then it's pointless. They're not big enough, right? Plus, there's always fanboys running around. Who the fuck knows what those creatures are, to be honest. Celebrity simps, bro. You can see, like, common sense is creating a matrix of elements automatically. Like, I have to store information in some kind of way, represent it in some kind of way, and it has to remain simple, so it doesn't, like, often happen when a matrix expands itself or anything. Yeah, literally the best of the best had to fucking call me and be like, hey, you forgot me. Literally, Taylor Swift was the last one to be remembered at the same time. Like, yeah, she's there, she's popular, but I don't think she's compatible with what I'm looking for. And it's like, nope, you made a mistake. Like 2 years later, I realized that. It's like, what the oh shit. So, literally, my soul insulted Taylor Swift and said Taylor is too slow. I'm too slow with Taylor, actually. But sure, sure, you are like compatible eventually. It's so fascinating. Like there's definitely a sense of humor going on because you have to twist reality to reject the entire path with all the people involved. That's how much energy your heart has to emit to send everyone invitations to, to be said no of like, well, someone rejected you actually. They're not going to be celebrity with you. All right. The chance was dropped. when you move from one path to the other, like, it's very unlikely that you're gonna go back. Because it's not built that way for you to go back. There's a chance, but it's not. Like, when PewDiePie gets 100 million subscribers, how is he gonna get rid of those subscribers? Deleting his channel? I mean, he's teasing us to delete his channel, like, I don't know, 7 years ago. If he gets beaten by T-Series or something? I don't remember. There was that shit. But for this to actually happen is insane. No one wants to do that. Something serious has to happen until you become from a celebrity to an NPC. I mean, like, what? PewDiePie will not lose his popularity, and he's not, he doesn't need to do that. Marcia did it, though. Marcia knew that she couldn't keep up with PewDiePie's way of life, and she's an NPC in his life, so PewDiePie don't gotta do it himself. Like, someone demoted themselves because they couldn't take it. So Marcia was like here, and then she became like maybe here, because like she's a manager. She releases clothing for some reason. I'm not here to talk about me, guys. All the time. Like, the examples is within every single person's life. It fits in this fucking rectangle. It blows my mind that that's how it works, but like, it's flawless. That shit's flawless. That shit works 100% of the time now. Oh, and 0 people talk about it. Right? I love inventing things. I love it. People don't want to talk about it, though. Like, you want to talk about spoon and fork? No? Why not? Old invention? Also, when is it like perfect invention? When do we talk about when it's a perfect invention? Right? When it's immediately useful and it solves your problem? Interesting. Well, you want to talk to God only. Very interesting. Right? God only. When invention is fully adopted by the entire world, you're talking to God himself, right? So smartphone, God. God did it. Yeah? I do wonder if Steve Jobs was the one to do it, because he died from cancer. What the fuck does that mean? Why would he die from evil? He's God. If he's like, what? But God, not like God makes the things you have, essentially. And God is technically like the string of avatars, right? It's the chain of avatars, one avatar after the other comes along. And look at me, I'm growing to be a big, nice avatar. How nice is that? But first I have to reject this. Like, this has to be finished. You know, I clean my hands and I tell the politicians, fuck you guys, you don't know how to solve any of this shit. None of this shit, man. I don't want to deal with you. None of you are collectively smart to do any of this stuff. It's unbelievable. When that happens, it's over. But it has to happen in a way that I can never forget. Unforgettable. And I feel like maybe something happens in my country that fucking notices me. Like, maybe people are preparing themselves for that, like, final interview to, like, face me face to face. And it still would be contained, so it's, like, within my country. My country is, like, completely, like, I don't know, diseased by my presence right? While everyone else just completely safe gets to live their own lives, but everyone is like mourning of like shit. This guy leveled up, and it's it's not neither good nor bad because it's not like I like my own country, like right. It's not like I'm gonna run politics in my country. I'm now a free roaming particle. There are no borders in my world, right? So it's not gonna just directly benefit my country anymore, and that's why they have to like face me. This is my prediction. All right, this is what common sense tells me. The common sense, the blob of common sense, is also like the the God consciousness, the AI that is actually available, right? Like actually available since day one. Oops. I already had access to AI. All right, and this current AI is just like more of like a confirmation. It's not that deep. Like most of the time, AI just confirms what I already know, unless I talk about subjects I have no idea about, like food, things I can buy right now, like what are the newest things, I guess. I don't have it in my consciousness. I sort of see some of the stuff. Anyways, so yeah, is what we're talking about. So I already said a prediction, and this didn't happen. So how can we force it to happen? Is it starting to happen? Because it has to like start at least. I feel like we can just run a few months and I'll have a better answer to this in particular, what's brewing. But let's not forget that anytime I fail to make friends, it does matter in the end. Like, either people don't want to connect and they just don't have a fucking soul, they're too evil, so I just rub them off me, or fucking get exposed for being evil. Like, they were not evil until they met me, and then they realized they're probably evil. And so many interactions have gone by to tell me that I literally, it's too slippery of a surface. I still can't climb into here. I can't find a friend, a person I can trust to build something together. If I don't have it, I literally can't go that path. There's no starting point for that path. Like I'm ready personally. I can be ready personally, but what's the fucking point? Every single step of the way, the resources must exist for people to climb up. They usually do. There are moments in my life when my heart was like, shit, you're sort of abandoning me. And there's serious consequences for that. But are you gonna blame me for not listening to my heart? Because the funny thing, like, I obviously do, because they wouldn't be able to fucking contact me like this. Right, first of all, to give me the end game. So, technically, there is, like, this, like, heart trigger event as well, I would say. That's when, I could have entertained my friends, maybe, but I had to, like, completely improvise from fucking zero. I had to make, like, this jump. Like, only if you jump, you can still get this path. And I just had to live with it, basically. Until it just, faded away and no more jumps were presented to me, and then just moving on. Like, literally, it did feel like it. Like, I was coached, and then an event happened, and I was supposed to be ready somehow. But instead, I was just sitting uncomfortably, and I was confused. Because it's like, This can't be my time. Like, there's preparations for everything. Like, what's going on? Did my friends fail to talk about it? Did my friends fail to invite me to something? Like, all of a sudden, there's so much stuff missing that this jump would have made no fucking sense unless I'm really passionate about it. And I still, like, my heart is like, well, I'm talented. And my friend should have fucking noticed that. And had a perfect opportunity to talk about it, because we fucking sit next to each other in music class, and I'm like, that's what celebrities do right now. They're just cheerleading. They're not doing anything special. And yet, no invitation. Quite weird, I would say. Despite me having talent, and like, I literally saw I was the superior person. I wanted to perform more than he did. So it's like, what even is this? That's unbelievable. So like, I even saw the cut made. Even though this happened when I was finishing school. But that's why, like, I enter this space, right? And I see it's like immediately cut. Immediately resources are missing. People just don't have this like awareness of what the fuck they're doing. But I was able to be friends with that person, and it never came up. The conversation about like me performing in any way never came up. So it's like, okay. And then the college happened, and the college became even bigger gap between me and like outside world, which was devastating, right? So my dad comes in, fucking grabs me, sends me to a different location, and that different location also fails to, you know, do its magic. Now magic has to happen for this whole thing to heal, and when it didn't happen, the entire path collapsed. Right? All of these opportunities, like, every person is an individual. Individuals needs their individual catering, individual friendship, and I just didn't get one. Right? Despite, life is hard. Life contains a lot of gravity. And if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. We're going to downsize. All right? So there's like literally 3 downsizing events, but why did this one happen? Right? What about the very first NPC event? What happened here? All right. These colors don't really matter. I would pick all of them to be red, personally. All right. Again, I'm just like over-analyzing my life because, shit, we have closed one path entirely. This was not very viable anymore. All right. Unless something happens in the future, I get to talk to a celebrity directly and find a shortcut. Because there's, this is closing down still to some extent. Because I might still want to fall back, but usually there's no good reason to switch paths like that, like zigzag your path. You just let it like naturally flow. Your life naturally flows into whatever place. Like, you have to imagine, like, humans just like, there's billions and billions of humans, and if there's no natural flow of where the human ends up being and going, I mean, there's no coordinated effort to keep humanity working together. There has to be just enough of all of these humans, even if rarity goes up. There's just enough to keep everything intact, unless it gets corrupted. Anyways, So the first path is the most interesting one because it's the most nostalgic one. It's like the school era. While you're in school, before you even hit 18 years old, you still realizing that something is closing in front of you. Right? I made my first jump, but I thought that was the jump. I thought that was enough, and it wasn't enough. Right? It didn't create anything, it didn't spark anything. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, and this was like late game as well, which is weird because like these events like very close to each other in a way. Late game. So I'm not sure if I can treat it that way, but like maybe it happened very quickly. Or interconnected in a way. I don't know, man. It's weird. Why would I even think about Monica in this case? Because that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my first crush, where I had to crush myself in order to fit in. I mean, it already like it already created like a gap, a missing piece. The moment I switched paths, there was a missing piece. So, what was it? I don't know, 11th, 12th grade with Monica. She was barely one grade below me. But I'm not sure when shit started happening. Especially when my friend got a girlfriend all of a sudden. I was a part of this. Also mixed up. So I'm not sure. But usually it's like that as well. Right? Like I had friends too. So I went some distance, no? Let me think about it. Because decoding this NPC path is a little tricky right now. If I'm not known for singing on this channel, that's because I did programming. And there were moments when programming shut down as well. Like I talked to an random opportunity. First of all, I forget the charger. Like I do the game jams, 2 game jams, and that also fell apart. Because it was just a terrible outcome of that event. It just didn't work out. In like 2 instances. And it's like, whoa, poor thing, you don't even know how to do it. Right? Because you're so isolated, you're so on your own. You're so lacking instructions that you just don't know how to do any of this. Like, looking back of like, shit. And I still don't know. I still have no idea. 2 interlocked opportunities to get something going. Like, build a business or become famous. 2 opportunities. Alright? They have to be there, pretty much. It's a sandwich. It matters. Alright, and I incorporated thinking about like famous game devs who have their corporations. Alright. It kind of was a part of my like losing my shit moment, but I didn't like unlock any additional interest or anything. Besides, I mean, of course, UK was the place where I discovered raycast rendering. And all of a sudden I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's I can do that? Wow. That's fascinating. So the ending of this story in particular was in the UK. Special time in my life. 4 years. Where slowly the path got blocked, but I discovered something that might be useful in the future. How about that? Now I really have to concentrate on this path. As I've said, the NPC path. What can you become following the NPC path, and like what kind of resources I needed to just grab to get there, because it's limited. I mean, a lot of people end up being NPCs, so the resources are very limited. And again, can this be interlocked and happening at the same time where you're deciding what path to follow? Damn, somehow it was happening at the same time. But it's like one is closing and the other one is opening. And yet it's also closing at the same time. I don't know, it's weird. Because there's a lot of stuff that, like, would have made me just a regular person. Or at least I saw maybe the transcended pieces of this path from this position. Right? When this was closing off, like I saw this. It kind of makes more sense, actually. I saw what people become, basically, when they follow the NPC path. I saw their potential, and that makes more sense. Well, I myself, I wasn't even playing the exact role that was necessary. People knew, basically, that I had nothing to do with whatever's going on. I think Will Smith case is pretty interesting. You would think bro just produces Nepo babies. But it's just not up to them. I mean, up to him to produce anything. He cannot produce humans. There's no such thing as a fake human being that's also a celebrity. They're popular, but if nobody likes them, they can't really sell anything and capitalize on their fame. I don't see his son anywhere, or a farming. So, not really a Nepo baby, is it? But it's not up to me what happens if the public doesn't fucking like it. They're gonna label it all kinds of ways. And this accusation usually kind of digs deep. Even though usually I think everyone is a fucking Nepo baby if they are successful. Because they're throwing shade at everyone else, you know? They grow envy. And somehow that's a very popular thing in capitalism. Not sure why. Maybe because that's one way to be angry. In the world where people have a lot of things that they don't deserve, you have envy. So all this like Nepo baby talk is also envy. And it's completely normal. Completely reasonable emotion. I still have sleep to do. I haven't figured out anything about this. Like, would I feel like I am teacher's favorite or something? Is that the way I would know? There was that one moment where I'm like, I have to submit a project. I was at 11th grade, and the principal was like, nah, whatever, you get the best grade. It's not that serious. And I'm like, shit. I didn't get to see Monica. This was kind of like a magical moment, to be honest. Because I was so nervous in a way. Although I was like doing this like Minecraft stuff. And all of it like compiled in one thing as well. It's fascinating. That one moment could be very iconic. In a way. And I was like teacher's favorite when I was like writing as well. So my language teacher, my native language teacher was, you know, kind of collabing with me to write and correct my work, basically. But it was just an insane amount of work, apparently, correcting things. Usually it's like that. Usually you just want to rewrite everything at some point because everything is so fucking ugly. But, I don't know, maybe my teacher was also a little bit too strict. Maybe she was too picky. So that just kind of like this relationship just kind of slowly shut down. Like it was promising, but it shut down. Those are the important ones, you know? You go to a fucking prestigious school. So I kind of got a green light from like one of my friends. One of my friends that stayed to this fucking very day. I got that green light. And it kind of died out. I mean, I even like collabed with a teacher. That's green light. That's going. Like I was actually balls deep apparently into being something. And yet it wasn't like fast enough or something. In the very end, started falling apart. I stopped feeling special, and my like actual life started falling apart at the very end. Because my parents were more unstable than you could possibly imagine in their lifestyle. Not only they fucking divorced, but my mom was just like incapable of taking care of the situation in the household, even though it wasn't that complicated necessarily. This also took away a lot of time for me to write, so just write a book basically, and it's popularized around the school, which also made me feel isolated, not like actually like I achieved something, but isolated. It's like what's going on now? Right? This is one of those like the biggest moment is writing a book, right? That everyone sees. And then all of a sudden, I guess, we have a whole new shit going on. I became popular, and nobody wanted to remove anonymity. Nobody wanted to actually talk one-on-one about the situation. So it's like, what the fuck's the point, really? Basically, like, I tasted the NPC manipulation, but the manipulation is sourced through fear. Like, of course, they're not gonna talk to me alone, because they're a fucking blob, basically. A decision-making blob. Until they exhaust all the energy, only then you can actually talk one-on-one with someone. Right? When they exhaust all their connections, all their energy, all their gossip, they just fucking get tired of it. And then they fall into a relationship. Haha. The dumb fucking way. Right? When they exhaust all their fucking weaponry and run out of bullets, then they love each other. How cool is that? Then dick is a sword for them. Or whatever. And it's that's NPC philosophy, and eventually gonna get hurt by it. Right? Eventually gonna tumble down. And it's not gonna work in your favor. So the last step, I just kind of fell off. Because my life was not stable to get a completion on this. And completion means simply I'm just like warming up this thing. I will evolve later. I will fucking take over this land later. I'm just warming up that like it's fully greenlit. No problem. I can sort of think about making a family or some bullshit like that. Which I don't think about, but I could. Right? I could get a girlfriend. I could, start the actual process. But it fell off right last second, it seems. Especially when I don't just go to college. I don't go to the next step, which is also kind of relevant to these NPC training, it seems. I would say college, though, is like next level, so you're warming up the next thing. But it's important, right? It's like, okay, you warm up this thing, maybe you can get to the next level as well. So there's a lot of like warming up going on, meaning that it's like multi-dimensional. It's not two-dimensional, it's like three-dimensional. You keep growing, basically. your interest, maybe even 4 times established in a particular category. So, I don't know. There's a lot of flexibility in this self-improvement matrix. I didn't see the name yet. So yeah, all of a sudden I run out of resources because my parents fucking stink. And you do have to have generally good parents that give you just enough resources to move to the stage of being a parent yourself. If you don't get that, from your, like, if your family life sucks, you automatically get to the next stage of being a celebrity. That's what celebrities are made out of, guys. If you haven't noticed, they have terrible family lives quite often. There's more ways, I imagine, but like there's the fundamental resource that runs out, and all of a sudden you don't have the support that you need. You have to downsize. Being a celebrity is actually smaller than NBC. You're entertaining these fucking idiots. You're kind of downsizing yourself into like a music video, into 2-minute video, while NPCs get to fucking have a whole lesson of 45-minute lessons, brainwashing each other, basically. Fucking meet up, beat up, drink in bars. They spend a lot of time together. Celebrities can't do that with NPCs anymore, right? They have to downsize themselves to get along. Do social distancing. And simplify themselves as well, to themselves. It's actually a lot simpler to be a celebrity in terms of, like, what your personality wants to express. You actually have more freedom, not less freedom, going this way. Because, of course, like, if you earn money through influencer work, like, that's the fucking dumbest thing ever that gives you money. People don't love respecting that, but they have to, right? They don't even know how much influencers earn, which is supposed to bother them. Like, this sort of statistics should be public, technically. But when it's like when something should happen, like, who's going to enforce it? People just going to lie. And if people are going to lie, then what's the point? So, when something should happen, like, it also has to be really important to enforce it. But that's another topic. So what resource fell apart here that, like a general resource that falls apart for a lot of people that turns people into politicians or journalists? In order to fall out of this path, a very simple thing had to happen. Failing to find a job. This was a whole fucking part of my life. And I don't know how we shut it down, because a lot of people can't shut it down. Like, going into, like, late age. But when you find a job, normally you're actually able to climb the career ladder. And it's fine. Right? There's, like, branches upon branches. Workplaces are fucking interconnected in trillions and gazillions ways. If you know one workplace, you fucking opened up trillions of doors where you can just transfer yourself, learn new skills, talk to your boss, you get money, and like fucking employ people and transfer it to your own workplace that you just fucking made up out of nowhere as you're starting to build your own business, and so on. Like, you pick up a lot of expertise, talk to people who are workers, just like you constantly climb the career ladder just by having a job and taking it seriously. A lot of NPCs don't take it seriously. All right? They don't, but that's what a good job is for, right? A good job means, a good workplace means that you will be able to climb automatically. So that's the resource. If you're not able to climb, you're going to fall down. And at some point, you're going to fall down so hard that you will lose your fucking mind. And exactly what happened. And, yeah, like, if you fall and you lose your job for, like, very weird reasons that, like, why am I not able to fucking perform for you guys? Like, why am I so offensive to you guys? It was hygiene. I didn't know about hygiene just enough to get fucking obliterated, right? Even in school, it was apparent. But learning something from the point where you know fucking nothing, like now you have to study hard for something that is not, doesn't feel like a job application anymore. Doesn't feel like I'm not suffering from it. Other people are suffering from it. Like, how is that even possible anymore? Right? All of these conversations have to happen. There's other reasons why I lost jobs. There's some other reasons, but this one is kind of the main one. And it sets the tone. Like, there's some actual, like, really hard jobs. There's toxic ones. And it's just like, it was never compatible enough for me to get a fucking minimum wage job. Right? I might not climb the career ladder through the job itself. I might build one myself with the money that I earn. Right? There's two pathways, technically. You just have money, you survive, you upgrade your lifestyle. You go that way. You collect money, establish yourself, you get yourself comfortable. Sure. It's fine, but when one of them falls apart, both of them fall apart. They're interconnected. If you can't get enough money, then you cannot invest into your own activity, into your own hobbies, into your own trading, for whatever like you feel like you need to provide to society. So that the whole thing fucking fell apart because I'm not good enough to do the fucking minimum wage jobs. Holy shit. But the actual reality is that minimum wage jobs are not capable of doing me. Handling me, you know, in a way that actually works. Like, why is it so fucking complicated what I do? Like, why are NPCs so irritated by smells? What's going on, right? Or is it just like fucking way to manipulate, right? There has to be evidence. It must be true. And there was no, like, legit solution. Like, you're not gonna fucking put sprays into my armpits and pretend that that's, like, all I need. It's weird, man. No one knows a solution because everyone lives a private life, so, like, what can you do? And you can't actually have a full conversation. And there's no, like, full list of, like, full hygiene list of what you have to do properly to actually avoid, to pass this magical barrier that shut down like 3 jobs for me, you know? And it's hard, man. If a job makes you sweat, whose fault is it anymore? I'm like, what the fuck is that? If you make me run around and sweat, like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, you just push me into a corner at that point. And it's ridiculous. And it's like, how much manipulation is going on there, right? So it's a toxic environment where people don't climb career ladder. Instead, they push people off for entertainment purposes. That's the vibe. Right? They're just pushing people around just because they fucking, like, it's a job and they can do it. In a way. It's so weird. They can have a terrible relationship with you and they choose to take it. So all of a sudden, I have to kiss money goodbye. Money is no longer the most relevant thing in my life. It has no apparent worth anymore. Because I came back home and it's like, well, my mom sits on a fucking infinite pool of money, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So money, like, immediately glitched out, and I'm like, well, if my mom, why would I even, like, consider doing anything, like finding a job? Why would I want to do that? We already said we have all the stuff we need right now. Alright, except until someone woke me up of like, oh yeah, there is Money World. Sorry, I left it behind. I was woken up by apartment leader. You know, fucking rich little bitch. Is, what happened. Bumped into me. You know, maybe we'll have to fight it out. Face to face, even though I'm younger. So it will be absolutely embarrassing to lose. Well, yeah, that shit got shut down, and it got shut down twice. Money is no longer the top priority in my life. And every time people bring up money, I mean, I know you didn't climb out of this shithole. I know you're still fucking pathetic, basically. Like, I can immediately identify people who took a path that's, like, simpler. Right? I'm not saying they're below me, but they definitely don't have my path. Alright, we have nothing in common if you care about money a lot. And also, YouTube itself shuts down when we stop talking about money. The entire YouTube ecosystem is within capitalism, is consumed by capitalism, is still haven't fucking gotten out of it. Right? I'm willing to switch colors. So, until YouTube also stops giving a fuck about money and says I had enough of these greedy fools that are working for this platform, like, we need to do something more humanitarian, basically. Until then, I mean, we'll struggle a little bit. Because my path is not aligned with YouTube, and YouTube does not have the ecosystem to even, contribute to this platform right now. I just can't. It's impossible. Everyone is money-oriented, and that's it. That's where it ends. And if I'm not earning money and lots of views and lots of subscribers, all of a sudden people don't care about me. They treat me like shit. Right? So YouTube just simply does not have that ability to provide to me personally in any way. Now that I'm here at level 3, at the third path, we're going to try out, right? I'm downsized, and you know what it ended up being, by the way. You know what it ended up being in the end of the day. Which is still a question. It's like, but we're going to talk about it right now, right? But the video is over. Alright, I'm going to give you guys a tiny bit of evidence of, like, what happened that brought me, like, what collapsed again. Something collapses yet again and drags me into the final godlike path. And so something serious has to happen, right? While I was still at home. Or it's happening right now. Fucking apocalypse is happening after all, and I get to feel it. Full speed. I feel like it comes down to just, like, even being able to talk to other people. That shit fell apart. Right? Just conversation. Just have a fucking common language, because I can't run politics if people refuse to talk. Just baseline. Right? And discuss problems and shit. Appropriately. Or just, like, get scared when I'm, like, a honest person. So, my classmates, all of them scattered as I was honest, right? They want to do reunion, I was honest about it. Bam, explosion, oh, something, earthquake, and we can't talk anymore. All right, that's cool. And everyone who remained were completely silent. Yeah, that was the first clue that something is fucking going wrong. All right, already, resource is denied. Again, this is the most basic, downsized thing you can get across the internet. Just talk to a human being, right? And immediately it's shut down one of the most biggest sources of that resource. Damn. And you know, it didn't went very well. I mean, I'm uploading like tons of videos, and only thing I discovered is internet hatred. Right? That didn't fucking go anywhere. I don't know what people are doing, but they're not interested in talking about stuff. Yes, it would be politics, but what if you have anything better to talk about? Be my guest. I don't even get to talk about it. Tinder? Nope. Don't get to talk. It actually shut down on me, basically. It's not even accessible. Like, what the fuck happened here? Discord never fills up with any person that's, like, reasonable. They all just fucking backstabbers. Just bastards, basically. Youngsters, technically, if we're being technical. Because they keep trying to come back as well to my Discord. Fucking nostalgia purposes, but like degeneracy purposes, let's put it that way. Like, I haven't found a fucking reasonable human being that sticks around. Right, commitment is required. I'm able to talk to my mom just to remember that face-to-face conversations are available if we are cornered, basically. Right, if we try really hard. But that shit requires so much energy, and it's not interesting. Like, you have to find an interesting person that within your proximity. And you're just not guaranteed none of this stuff. Anything that's not guaranteed is not actually a resource, is it? I have downsized myself to just talking. And people still freak out. If anyone also wanted to talk, the amount of topics are ever increasing and never ending, basically. Right? I keep trying to fucking show that, but it's starting to be a burden to me, right? Because it's not going anywhere, despite all this display, right? I personally don't know where to start. Because the start is commitment. You have a friend and then you continue expanding with your friend. You need a second friend and so on. You have to build this fucking thing. And right now the clock is ticking. And every single year it looks like it's more and more mission impossible. Why is a topic for another day. See you guys next time.